Hello, hello. Give it just a minute or two for people to join. Hello. Hello, Lise. Excited to see people jumping on. I'm just going to give it about a minute or two and then we'll get going. But yes, feel free to say hello in the chat box there. So welcome, everyone. Hi, Chloe. Thanks, everyone, for coming. All right, yes, we're very excited to be hosting this live today. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Rachel STOWE. I am the Director of International Enrollment at CFAM. We're especially excited as we have just recently signed a new partnership with the University of New Brunswick in Canada. So we wanted to have this opportunity to not only kind of officially make that announcement, but also just speak with a few experts on studying and working in Canada. So as CFAM has now kind of opened up our students to that opportunity, I want to give you more information about that. So we've got two different people here that I'm going to chat to. One is Patrick HURLEY, and he is kind of an expert on the education system in Canada. And then we also have Nicolas HALARY, who is a Cfam alumnus who is currently living and working in Canada. So to start, I'm going to bring Patrick up. Give him a second to appear. There you are. Hello, Patrick.
Hello. Hi, Rachel.
Thanks so much for coming. Do you want to just take a minute and just introduce yourself to all of our viewers?
Sure. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invitation. And so just a little bit about, I've always been in education as a teacher, and I was actually a Cfam from 2002 to 2005 as program director. Great years in France where we really enjoyed it, my family and I. And then we moved back to Canada, and we established ourselves in Quebec City, where I still live. So from 2005 until now, we've been in Quebec City, and I worked at Laval University for about 10 years in the business school, and coordinating, directing all the international activities for the business school here at Laval University. So it's one of the biggest French coordinating study abroads for university and also for school-age children.
Excellent. So since you've been in education in Canada for so long, if you just wanted to start out, just give us a quick overview of just kind of what the university system looks like there for our students.
Yeah, so it's actually similar to the US. Quebec is a little different. I'm not going to talk about Quebec now, but English Canada is pretty much the same system as the US. So you have grade 12, you graduate, and then you have a 4-year degree program. And so you can, in 4 years, you have your degree. It's the same thing as Cfam. Cfam, you're very fortunate because you really do follow the North American system. So Canada will be a very easy fit for you because you'll come and you'll specialize just like they do in the States with a major, a minor, or double major and whatnot. So it's a very similar system to the US.
And as far as being international students in Canada, as our students will be, can you give some benefits such as work study, for example?
Just first of all, I would say we love our international students here in Canada because we have such a small population. We actually try to keep you all, if possible. So basically, yeah, students come from all over the world, especially English Canada. In Quebec, we have a lot of La Francophonie, of course, and we have people from all over as well that come to study. And basically, it's pretty simple. The visa process is through the Canadian visa process to get the study visa. So it's similar to the U.S. And in terms of working, we're similar in the sense of France, where international students are allowed to work off campus. Traditionally, we used to be able to only work, international students used to be only able to work on campus for, within the campus, but now you can work up to 20 hours off campus while you study. The classes are very similar. So in terms of having time to work or whatnot, you have usually 5 classes max, kind of like in the United States, you take 5 classes maximum per semester. And that may or not give you time to work on campus. And once you graduate, this is the real bonus, I think, in Canada, is that once you graduate, you automatically have a work permit. And you do not require a job offer from an employer. And so that's maybe what differentiates Canada from the United States. So whenever you graduate, you have, and I don't know all the details, but you have at least a 2-year permit. We'll say that like that. And many international students, because I work with a lot of international students at Laval University, many of them will then take that permit. They can stay where they are, in this case, Quebec, or in your case, New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, the Maritimes, or you can go anywhere in the country. So it's really wide open. You have this permit and you can go and basically look for a job. And while you're doing so, if you have more long-term plans, and again, I'm not the official person, so I'm just going to say some students decide that they want to stay long-term. So while they're working, their post, it's a work permit just like any other, so you can work anywhere. While they're working, then they might apply for permanent residency, for example, which is kind of like the green card of Canada. So many of them decide to stay longer and work, 5, 10 years or whatever, or maybe even stay forever. But in any case, there's a nice smooth transition that happens here when you have your degree, and that's one of the real big advantages of studying in Canada as an international student.
Yeah, I think that's a huge benefit as well. And like you said, that time accumulates towards residency and you can get a job doing anything. There's not the same restrictions. So it really can be a gateway to stay in Canada if that's what students want to do.
There's no, I know in the States sometimes with the OPT, it depends on the, everything. But in Canada, it's just, you apply for your permit, you have it, and off you go.
Yeah. And then just, I know this might be a very general question, but the cost of studying in Canada tends to be a little bit less than the US as well. So can you give a couple of general details about that?
The first difference, we don't really have private universities here. It's all public universities, but they act it privately in the sense that the government allots money, and education is like in the US, it's a state mandate. Here, it's a provincial mandate. We have provinces. So the province of New Brunswick, for example, allots a certain amount of money per student. So the universities get that money and then do what they want with it. So they, that sense. But so tuition, the difference between what the government gives and then what the students have to contribute as well. Generally, the tuition is less than you'd find in the US. In your partners for sure. So we're looking at, I'm not sure if I could, you can maybe share the details. I'd maybe let you and B, but it's about what, 20,000 or something like that. Let's say tuition.
Something like that. So it's definitely
more interesting price. So that's like
so
it's 50% on the dollar, right? So the euro is very strong.
Yeah. And then just one last question. If you wanted to just share a little bit, since our partner is the University of New Brunswick, a little bit about the province. I know it's in the far east, I guess already all the way on the Atlantic Ocean.
So New Brunswick has the main border with the state of Maine. And so we call it the maritime provinces. So there are four Atlantic provinces, if you will. There's New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland. So there's four provinces really, yeah, like you said, all the way to the east. These are smaller provinces. Traditionally, that's where Canada started. The Confederation with these provinces were the main provinces, but the population, not a lot of population, but they're very entrepreneurial because they have to be. They have to work hard to continue functioning. The people are very, very nice. They're probably some of the nicest people you'll meet. It's a very simple living, if you will. It's not too complicated. Nobody's too stressed. The population of New Brunswick, for example, is about 800 to 900,000, just the whole province. So it's like, I don't know how to compare it. It's a little bigger than the whole now, like say, but 900,000 people. So it's a small province, but there's lots of opportunity, and Nova Scotia nearby as well. So when you have your permit, they're very, very open to international students, and they're very open in terms of the job market too. So I would recommend that you would actually stay in the maritime provinces if possible, because the likelihood of getting jobs is very good. So it's just a wonderful, lots of nature, lots of things you'll see. It's really, really a great place in Canada.
Perfect, perfect. Well, thank you, Patrick. We will bring Patrick back at the end if you guys have some questions for him, so you'll have that chance. But we're going to go ahead and bring up Nicolas. I'll just give him a second to hop on. There you are. Hello, Nicolas.
How are you?
I'm fine. And would you like to also take a moment and introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. Hi, guys. I'm Nick. I'm a former Cfam alumni. So I started in Cfam in 2010, then moved to Northeastern University in 2013, and then finished my last 2 years at Northeastern and graduated in 2015. After that, I found a job with DHL in Boston. I did a lot of different roles with DHL in Boston for 3 years. I worked in the training department, in the quality department, in operations. And then in 2018, the rules on immigration changed in the US with President Trump, and I could no longer stay in the US. So I had to move, and my company, DHL Express, transferred me to Canada in Toronto. And I've been in Toronto for the last 2 years. I am now the operations manager for DHL Express in Toronto. I manage one of the biggest and largest service center that DHL has in the world. And I've been the manager for about a year now.
Excellent, excellent. And can you tell us a little bit about how you,
Sorry, Rachel,
like why
I
you
can't
chose
hear you.
to
I
go
think
to
you're on mute.
Sorry?
No, I lost you.
Oh, can you hear me?
For some reason, I can't hear you anymore.
Oh dear. So we'll try again. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, not sure what happened right now.
Okay, let's see here. Having technical difficulties. Because we can hear you fine. I'm gonna try and send you the question. So I'm gonna ask him about how Cfam. Yeah, okay. So the students can hear with no problem. So I'm just gonna send it to you here so you can listen to the question. Just to have you speak about how Cfam, how you chose to come to Cfam, and how Cfam has helped you in pursuing your professional career. So we're going to give him a second to sign back in. Yes, okay, I can see your guys' messages that you guys can hear both of us. So for some reason he wasn't hearing. Can you hear me? Okay, I had my WhatsApp on so you can hear the question on WhatsApp because everyone can hear you. Let me tell him. All right. So he's getting my messages, so hopefully he will jump back on and be able to answer them.
Maybe if we can write me the questions down, I can answer if everybody can hear me.
Okay.
If we can do it this
Perfect.
way.
Perfect.
Awesome.
And in the meantime, students, if you want to put some questions into the chat box, you're welcome to do so.
The question is, how did Cfam help you get to where I am right now? So that's a really good question. Cfam has been instrumental to where I am right now, and one of the reasons why I have this job. First of all, the education that I received at Cfam, the quality and the structure that it brought to me. Let's talk about the quality of the education that we receive at Cfam. We have very good professors. They have a lot of experience, and they bring that reality of the business into us, right? It's not just like classes and they teach you about management. They will bring you real life examples of their career. We have very good professors. And then what's happening after is you have a lot of support that the people teach you and the Cfam teach you how to really adapt to the business world. You have a lot of like seminars that teach you how to build a resume, how to do interviews. You have access to multiple internships, and those internships are going to start building your resume. Throughout Cfam, you go through a number of different process and years, and as the year progress, there's a strong plan by the Cfam that really allows you to really focus on yourself, right? People ask you for what you want to do in your career and guide you and try to find you exactly what you like and what you don't like. Then after the 3 years, a lot of people, and myself included, went to a university. I went to Northeastern University. It's a 2-year program where I finished my degree, and then you really master, your education. I really had an amazing time and experience in the US at Northeastern. Every single class that I took at Cfam prepared for my time in the US. The way the classes are structured, are set up, it's the exact same environment. So I really encourage the students to really pay attention into how the Cfam works in France, because when you go to university in the US, it's the exact same format. And if you do well at Cfam, you'll do amazing in the US.
Excellent, thank you. You still can't hear me? Okay, I'm going to send him the next question, which is, yes, so I've written you the question.
Can you tell us about the job market and opportunities for the growth in Canada?
Yes.
So prior to the pandemic, Canada was actually doing extremely well, especially in big cities like Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver. Those are the cities in Canada where you can have the biggest opportunities in growth, especially in Toronto, the largest city in Canada. Very strong opportunities, lots of opportunities. I really recommend Toronto as a city if people want to come to Canada, because that's where the biggest opportunities and jobs are going to be. Toronto is very close to the US. So in terms of business, there's a lot of partnerships with the US. The US is the biggest exporter and importer for Canada. So there's a lot of opportunities and business. If you want to build a business in Canada, if you want to work and do business in Canada, it's very easy. There's a lot. It's very easy to hire people. Very easy to grow the company. At DHL, we invest a lot. That shows you that the big corporations like DHL, the #1 logistics in the world, we invest all the time in Canada. We just invested $100 million in Hamilton for a brand new facility that's going to open in the next few months. I just hired myself in my facility more than 100 people over the last few months because of the pandemic. We're actually doing very well in Canada. So the supply chain industry, even with the pandemic, is one of the industries that is doing extremely well. And not a lot of industries in the world can claim a 30 to 40% growth year over year like we are doing right now. So I definitely recommend Canada to be one of the places where people want to have their career, and also the supply chain industry. Right now, it's one of the industries that is doing really well. So the next question is, let me just pull up
one last question, and
the
then we'll
quality
open the
of
floor
work
up.
and life.
Yeah.
So the culture, because I also want to talk a little bit as well about the culture in Canada. It's a little similar than the US, but it's also very similar to Europe. So I think it's a little mix between US and Europe. You have the North American way of life. But also in terms of culture, the healthcare system is very similar, more similar to Europe, right? It's a lot easier to go to the doctor or go to the hospital. The cost is not as much as it is in the US. So in terms of that aspect, is very important. As far as the cost of living, Patrick was mentioning a little bit about the cost of living. The cost of living in Toronto is actually extremely high, very similar to an apartment cost in New York or Boston, right? You're talking about $2,000 for one bedroom in downtown Toronto, $2,000 Canadian. So that is actually quite expensive. So the cost of living is high, but the quality of life is also there, right? So what I mean by that is it's a little bit less business oriented in Canada than it is in the US. There's a lot of focus on your work-life balance, right? It's very important for Canadians. Vacations and the family life and the quality of life is very, very important. It's more focused on yourself and your family and your life than it is on the business aspect. That's my experience, having lived in the US and worked in the US for 5 years. I found it to be easier to really focus on that work-life balance in Canada compared to the US. So definitely a strong advantage to be in Canada if you want a good balance between your work and your life.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so now we're going to open up. We're going to bring Patrick back up. I'm just going to let him know what we're doing. And if you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat, and we will, about anything having to do with Canada, about CFAM, we're all here to answer any questions you guys have. So you can put them in the chat box there if you've got any questions. Hello, Guillaume. Anyone?
Guillaume Dufault from, he's alumni, right?
I think so.
I think he's a golden oldie. He's my era, I think. I'm pretty sure I recognize the name. Nicolas, I have to say you summed it up really well. You know, in terms of he doesn't hear me. Okay, that's true. So Nicolas did a great job, I think, in pointing out that, yeah, we have 3 major cities, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, and some intermediate cities in there. And there's a lot of, the work-life balance, I would say, is correct. A lot of nature everywhere. We're 40 million people in the second largest country in the world. A lot of room, a lot of nature, a lot of interesting things to do, and with access to the US, both business and Guillaume, both business and fun time. How you doing, Guillaume? So yeah.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, I think that, let me see if Nicolas has anything to add. Otherwise, if we don't have any questions, I'll start to give him just a second.
So anything to add? Definitely recommend Canada as the country to grow your career. I think we always talk about the American dream, right? The US dream, but there's a Canadian dream as well, where you have a lot of opportunities in Canada, and you can really have a very strong career and fast career because you have a lot of opportunities there. I think being French is actually an asset in Canada. French is one of the official languages in Canada. So when you're bilingual and you're able to speak both languages, you're definitely making a difference. And a lot of employers and companies are actually looking for people that are bilingual. And when you are bilingual, you're actually getting paid more money than somebody that just speaks either English or French. And you also have the ability to be mobile. If you have the ability to be mobile in Canada, that's even more of an asset. So I definitely recommend Canada to be a country of opportunities for careers.
Yeah, I agree, Nicolas. It's true. The two languages, that's automatic. You already have with CFAM, with the level of English you come out with. That's what was really impressive for me when I was there, is that the students really left ready to go, and they did very, very well in the US and continue obviously to do well, as we hear from Nicolas. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities, and again, with this seamless work permit that you get right after graduation, you have, you know, I hate to say 2, maybe 3 years. I'll just stop at a 2 to be sure, but 2 years of working anywhere you want. So there's really, and the universities here also, I have to say that they're like CFAM in terms of the support. They have offices for careers, for all these things. So you have the support. And just like they probably preach to you at CFAM, I know I did, is like, go see your professors, go see the people, go. It's not like the French, let's say the lycée system, where you don't talk to your professors. You have to reach out. You have to go and talk to your professors. If your professor is doing some interesting research, and this is something that the French would do in Laval a lot, they would approach, I'd tell them, because I'd have to coach them. They're not used to talking to the professors. So they go, and if they see some sort of interesting research, I saw a lot of French students doing research with professors as a job. You know, there's money for that. So those are other things. So all I would be, if you're in the US or Canada, again, it's very similar. Reach out to professors, reach out to these offices. There's lots of student associations. There's student associations for every single, you know, like the cold side of the pillow association. I mean, there's everything. So reach out there and take advantage wherever you go, Canada, the US, take advantage of everything.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, we try to set, you know, at CFAM, we have, you know, our safe family culture of our students being really involved with their professors. So it really just kind of extends to the experience that they would have there. So I think that's really, really important for them to know. All right, well, I see if we don't have any additional questions, I'm going to thank you guys one more time, Patrick and Nicolas, for being here. That was great information. And as always, Mathieu and I, any of us are here for any of you students if you have any questions or need anything. But apart from that, I'm going to thank you guys for being here and wish everyone a very good evening. And I will see you soon.
Thanks for coming. A little shout out to Mr. Current. Hi, Paul. Hi, Karine.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye, everyone. Bye.